Coinbase coming up on Wednesday with their own direct listing, and it is giving a boost to the price of Bitcoin right now, holding steady above $60,000 a coin. But Akiko, that gets all the attention here. There's another thing to talk about on the crypto front as well, which would be Mike Novogratz. We've had him on the show before, hedge fund guy turned into the crypto enthusiast as well, launching their paperwork here to file for a Bitcoin ETF. They're now the 10th by my unofficial count that I've seen here in people trying to get the SEC to approve their Bitcoin ETF. Of course, Fidelity is also on that list, as well as Sacramucci as well. But it could be a big catalyst that maybe is getting overlooked a bit here because Coinbase, everybody knows it, but in the background, ETFs, not a thing to scoff at either.
Yeah, and it just the institutional case for Bitcoin getting stronger by the day, and this is just the very latest. It's interesting, you say Coinbase going public on April 14th, that could be a big boost, or a lot of crypto enthusiasts are excited about it. But you could certainly argue that those who are maybe a little wary of having to stomach some of the volatility in direct investments into cryptos could be looking at Coinbase as another way to sort of dip their toes in the market as well. And it's been interesting to see how the moves in Bitcoin as well as Ethereum lifting other coins as well. Last week, remember, we were talking about crypto's market value topping $2 trillion. So it's not just about Bitcoin anymore, but it certainly looks like we are starting to see the knock-on effect in other currencies here getting a lift from the overall value proposition around this.
Yeah, and you think about ways to profit off of it. I mean, we've talked a lot about owning these things outright, which is obviously a way that some people go. You can also go the way of dipping your toe in one of these ETFs. Another way to go. You can go with Coinbase now, effective as of Wednesday. That route, Galaxy Digital, as I said, Mike Novogratz's fund, is interesting and different from some of those because they've been investing in smaller projects. And we're seeing the big pop today off of that Bitcoin ETF filing. But we had them on the show, what, a month ago. Mike Novogratz was talking about investing in some of these DeFi projects. You look at one of those, I think Luna Terra coin, when it was when he came on the show, that was back at like $5. They threw 25 million into that project. It was up to 20 bucks a coin there soon after. So you're talking about a 4xer in the span of weeks. So Galaxy Digital has caught definitely a boost here over the last few weeks. But interesting to see, I guess, all these ways to play it, Akiko. And obviously, if people really wanted to get into a Bitcoin ETF, we already talked about the Purpose Fund up in Canada, which is out there for people to play it. But each time we see one of these events, I think it attracts new people. And that break between institutional investors like you're talking about and retail players, obviously the Coinbase IPO might be big for people who had never been playing in it, but Bitcoin ETFs attract a whole different side of the market, and I think that that's going to be pretty interesting to watch. I think the SEC has until the end of April to weigh in on the Van Eck ETF. That's kind of the timeline we're waiting to see, because once one of those gets greenlit, tough to see not all the other ones following rather quickly, so we're keeping a close eye on that.
Well, and you have to wonder how much of the regulation or regulatory headwind that is likely to follow is already priced into all of this, because we do know the SEC is looking at this. So we've spoken to a number of our guests who've said that's coming, but that has, I guess, some would argue has been expected. So we'll see if it's already been priced in, but certainly a big bump there we're seeing today, although off of that record high we saw back in March.